Hi everyone, and welcome back to Project No Buy. In today's video, we're going to be talking about that irresistible urge to just buy something. So this is going to cover multiple categories of possible wanting to buy and consume things. That irresistible itch or urge that sometimes strikes to buy. The one last purchase phenomenon might also get an honorable mention here. And the fact that I forgot about the birthday offers that kind of come upon you in an onslaught during the month or week or time surrounding your birthday. And it's almost like another kind of personalized version of Black Friday sales that you have to then navigate and parse your way through, especially during a year where you're trying to consciously consume or not buy. In some ways, in general, January is the hardest time to stick to a resolution. Yeah, I know it's the easiest time as far as starting a new habit, new year, new me, and all those kinds of positive connotations, but I also do feel like it can be the hardest time because once you've marred that perfect surface, it can be so tempting to fall off the wagon in a way. So it's almost the things that make it the easiest time, right? That streak of perfection, then turn around and bite you in the backside and make it the hardest time once you've veered off the path ever so slightly. That clean slate is also just begging to be messed up. And once you do, it can be hard to stop. And if you, like me, spoiler alert, although I'm sure you've seen the title and thumbnail of this video, messed up your clean slate in the first month of the year, it can be even more of a process to get yourself back on course. But arguably as well, that is the most important thing to practice, thing to do, thing to become proficient at in any kind of no-buy challenge or any kind of challenge of habit change, is picking yourself up and putting yourself back on the wagon and not letting one mar of your clean slate, one mark on that slate, derail you in your efforts for the whole year to come, or even kind of diminish your efforts for the years to come. So anyway, getting right to the point, January for me might be one of my buy months, and here's why. So January is actually my birthday month, which does add another layer of difficulty to a no-buy challenge, especially one starting at the beginning of the year, going for the duration of the year. And I definitely forgot about all the birthday offers that come in. I even forgot about the Sephora birthday gift, which is kind of what sparked off this little shopping spree for my birthday. I was trying to tell myself as well that November's shopping last year included birthday gifts, but I also didn't intentionally have a plan for which items were going to be labeled as birthday versus Christmas, which items were to be saved. Spoiler alert, I didn't actually save any of the Christmas items, so it didn't really feel like I had kind of birthday things waiting for me. And then I guess there's something about the feeling of shopping and browsing and treating yourself that creeps in when it's a time where you have consciously celebrated yourself through consumerism in years past. If you've been here since day one, which, oh my goodness. But one of my early videos last year was a gratuitous birthday haul of everything that I kind of treated myself to over the birthday and Christmas season last time around, before no-buy efforts. And while it's not going to look like that this year, you know, that was way too many things, a lot of things I didn't actually need. There was a Sephora haul in that one too, actually, of the birthday gift plus a number of other things. That part will kind of maybe not be parallel as far as being a lot more conscious with my choices and intentional, but there is going to be a Sephora birthday order, spoiler alert, and there will actually be a couple of other items that I really didn't want to buy this year as a whole, or that I had kind of very strict exceptions laid out for as a whole. And I am sorry, as the spokesperson of Project No Buy, I hesitate to say leader because I don't think I'm qualified necessarily as far as success points to be a leader, but I do feel bad as the spokesperson on this channel to be demonstrating failure so early. Although I do also attribute it, you know, this is me justifying again, and I know that, but I do also attribute part of it to having a birthday in the first month of the year. So if it's your birthday month, maybe you've been feeling some of these same struggles. If it's not your birthday month, maybe you can keep this in mind for when your birthday does roll around, to plan your consumerism carefully so that you feel totally happy with it as far as how it relates to your goals for no-buy in 2025. While in principle, I do want to detach from the birthday offers, the sales that the companies present to us for things that we didn't necessarily know we needed before we saw the sale. There are some reasons that I'm not totally mad about my January fails or January purchases. I'm going to choose to not label them as fails for the rest of this video, and I'll just explain my thought process and logic. And I actually don't even have the items here to show you or anything like that, so it's all going to be verbal. I may even refrain from branding information, as I have been trying to debrandify this channel and see what that feels like. So my blinders were down due to the birthday, due to thinking about the replacement products that I actually will need in 2025 and how they correlate to making a possible Sephora order in order to get the birthday gift without having to go in store. So despite having a resolution to shop in store more, when I was thinking about it for various reasons, going into a store like Sephora to get the birthday gift is probably setting myself up for kind of a trap or kind of an experience where I'm going to have to use brain power to not look at other things and not be interested in other things that catch my eye while I'm there. Even as a non-makeup lover, although maybe I'm trying to fool myself with that because clearly I do still enjoy purchasing makeup sometimes. As somebody who's not a huge flamboyant makeup wearer, perhaps, would be a better term, I still have a hard time not being attracted to the shiny, pretty things in a makeup store. So for that reason, I was kind of thinking, oh, what are the replacements that I might actually need? And I made a whole video on the replacements that I'll likely need in 2025. I'll link that here. And there was a product that would qualify for getting the birthday gift. I think you have to have a $25 spend or something like that to get it online. And there was a product, my kind of foundation product, that I'm going to run out of pretty soon, and just prefer to get the same one for expedience. You know, I don't love it, I don't hate it, but I do like it, I guess, enough to repurchase, enough to not go through the rigmarole of trying to find a better one. So at least I'm off of that train, right? Like, I'm not obsessed with trying the next thing, looking for a better one. Like, the one I have is fine, I'm just going to repurchase it. It's a $32 product, I think, which is maybe slightly more expensive than it needs to be, but it's also something I buy literally once a year. The last one I purchased was in the birthday order of 2024. So that's something I'm okay with. It will be taken from the monthly budget, so it fits in. I'm not overspending yet. We'll get to the end and see if I've overspent for January already. But anyway, so the blinders were down for those reasons, the replacements, the birthday, the offers, and finally by being on the Mercari resale app. And I had some problems with this in 2024, and I had it on my to-do list to get that app off of my phone, but I also am continuously listing things that I am decluttering myself. And I have made more in resale, like proceeds from things I've decluttered, than I've actually bought. So at least we're kind of in the positive as far as that goes. And we will continue to be in the positive. Like, there's no way I'm going to spend all my credit on there from the things that I have listed for sale and the credit I have in there pending. So that's not the danger we're dealing with now. But I did see a couple of things that I was highly attracted to on the Mercari app when I was browsing. And all those narratives of, oh, it's a circular resale economy, it's not bad to buy things secondhand, and, you know, I deserve to treat myself a little bit to these things that one of the things was from a brand I already know and like and use a lot of their products a lot, their clothes, and one of them was not. So there was a dress and a pair of shoes to cut to the chase. And the dress is from a brand that I already like and know will probably fit me well. I know the material, style, quality, and I'm happy with the price that I'm getting it for. And the shoes are something that's kind of a replacement for versions that I've decluttered for various reasons. So I'll get into the details. I guess now is a good time to get into the details. The dress is a black kind of long sleeve dress, and I have had some not issues, because I am aware that I don't need any more clothes, but I have felt kind of a gap in my wardrobe for a kind of casual dress that's also not form-fitting or revealing. So especially for kind of slightly warmer seasons, but as a general rule, like, the dresses I have are either tight, so kind of form-fitting, tank top styles, so I have to either cover up or make sure that they're not moving around, you know, fluctuating sizes and etc., or very formal, so kind of more cocktail style, or I have one that's long sleeved but it's also linen, so it's not really appropriate for winter. And so I just saw this version. It's black. It seems like a good everyday kind of all around long sleeve, but not clingy kind of dress from a brand that I know. And it was listed for $40. I put both of these in my budget as $50 because shipping and taxes, you know, rounded one up, rounded one down, and it kind of equals to about $50 per item. They came out of my Mercari credit, so no money actually left my bank account, but I'm still counting them as part of my monthly spending budget because it's money that I could have otherwise had. And I don't want to allow myself any leeway in the $200. And, you know, that's 2 out of 5 of my maximum rule of 5 fashion items. And I really was hoping it would be 0 going into the beginning of this year. And it's kind of, you know, I still have 2 items for December, 1 item for a miscellaneous thing that comes up is kind of how I'm thinking about it. And I don't have to use the 2 items if I don't want anything in December. And the thing with the Christmas allowance, I guess, the gifts allowance of 2 kind of possibly clothing pieces and possibly a book, possibly some makeup products. The function of that is to kind of push off any desires that may come up between my birthday and Christmas, I guess. So I have these kind of bookends to the year, right? January right out of the gate and December right at the end. And so now the goal for the rest of the no-buy year is to evaluate the things that I want in these times, you know, February to November, that I don't have an occasion for it, and decide whether they're worthy of remembering, not necessarily wish listing, but remembering in a subconscious way for December's kind of allowances. And we'll see. There's going to be ongoing discussion about that, I'm sure. But those are the clothing pieces I have on the way from Mercari for my birthday treat myself kind of thrifting. And the plan here, I think I shared it already in the video of 5 things I regret in my wardrobe, is to do my final relist of the things that are still kind of on the docket to resell, and then take the app off of my phone. By the time of posting and editing this, I've probably already done that. I can update here. So hopefully I will not be seeing anything on Mercari. The blinders will be back on, and that will not be a danger as far as having to talk myself out of anything I see between now and December. And, you know, part of the reason for the leeway was because it was my birthday month, and I have had a long ingrained habit of treating myself, of shopping in some way during this time. And just one no-buy year of trying to consciously consume, and perhaps the fact that my birthday was at the beginning of that year as well, and I didn't really think about it, and then had a year of not really thinking about it, and then here I am confronting it again at the beginning of the next no-buy year. You know, it's kind of a difficult thing to focus on, I guess, in a mindful way, when after it happens, it kind of slips my mind, and then the next time it comes back, I'm at the beginning of the new challenge. So, like, I maybe need to devote some time to thinking about gift-giving occasions in general, and whether I'm okay with, I mean, on principle, I'm okay with the results I have here. You know, 2 thrifted, new-to-me clothing items at the price of $100 combined, some beauty products at the price of $68, and a thriftbooks order for $12. So that's everything that I have on the way for my birthday. And I'm under budget. I'm at $183, I think, all up, out of the $200 budget. And I might have a meal out between services, but the meals that I get out are generally in the $15 range. So I think I will sneak in right at the $200 budget. I only have 1 meal for double services at work this month that I'm here for. I already looked at that before the month of spending started, so I knew I wasn't going to cut myself out of being able to go and have that kind of work social time. So to move on to, I guess, the beauty products order. One of those was the $32 replacement foundation product, foundation tinted SPF product that I use. One of them was a mini blush that's a cream product. So this was a tricky product for me because I technically have a powder blush in a pink shade. It's one of the iconic influencer ones from way back in the day. The product is actually several years old. I'm not getting rid of it right now, but I do hesitate to use it. I do not reach for it, I think, because of the formula. And I have to get a brush to use it. I can't just kind of use my fingers to like use it out of the powdered pan. It just doesn't really work. And so I did find myself thinking, I have one other blush. It's kind of a darker, more red, rusty kind of brown red shade. I did find myself kind of wishing I had a pink cream formula. And so I did get a mini size of one of the popular blush formulas, I won't say which one, of the time. And I thought, okay, maybe this will be reasonable because it's an amount of product that if I like it, I'll actually use up maybe within the year. And I guess in my technical exceptions list, one beauty product was acceptable for my birthday. And I kind of flouted the rules a little bit by not getting just one, but I did get 2 mini products. So I don't know if that's a suitable substitute. Again, this is the land of justification, the land of nebulous rule breaking, I guess, the land of no-buy failure. I knew I said I wasn't going to say failure again, but I can't help it, okay? Like, I do kind of feel bad about it, having to report making purchases already, but perhaps it will increase my determination to make sure that February is a strict no-buy, to adhere to my every other month minimum rules, where every other month is a no-buy. Ideally, you know, again, from where I'm sitting today, I do feel confident about saying that now February to November can be no-buy. Like, my birthday's out of the way. Like, I know that's naive of me to think that nothing's gonna crop up to want and to buy and to deliberate over and whatever between now and then. But I am going to be more rigorous about putting the blinders up, not browsing secondhand for any reason, spending less time on the internet browser on my phone, spending less time on my phone. I'm going to be doing an update at the end of January, early February about my screen time and how that worked, how that reflected into the things I actually purchased. I'll wait for that update to tie that in full detail though. But anyway, so all in all, I ended up getting the replacement face product, the mini blush, and the other mini product was a cream eyeshadow kind of crayon product, something that I've liked a lot in the past, don't currently have one of, and was available in a color that I think is something that I used to use a lot and would like to use again. And again, I opted for the mini size. It made it more amenable to my budget, but also kind of, you know, it's the amount of product that I could actually use up with regular use, possibly even in a year. I know I did a whole spiel on how I use products really slowly, but the quantities of products in these mini products, and also the type of products that they are, a blush and an eyeshadow, where the single shade is kind of all over the lid application. And it's easy to use. It's an everyday kind of product. So I do actually hypothesize that I could use both of these up by the end of this year. So we'll see. We'll see if these become regrets. I will share that one of the minis, the lipstick minis that I got in my Christmas stocking, you know, for myself, is already a mild purchase regret. So it's not that I'm free from regrets, even in the journey of becoming a more conscious consumer. So I will, as always, transparently report back whether these products end up being regrets and how soon that might happen, and whether I can actually learn from it next time. I mean, that's the ultimate goal here, right? Is continued learning and to make fewer of the actual pitfall mistakes that happen in purchasing things that we don't really, I'm about to say don't really want to be purchasing, but I guess on some level I do want to be purchasing them because I did. I had a therapy appointment once where I was talking to the therapist and I started crying and I was like, oh, I don't want to be crying. And the therapist said, well, actually you do because you are. And I was like, okay, well, I guess bringing that back into, on some level, I did want to buy these things because I did buy them. So there's that. That fight, that battle is still kind of being waged within me. And then I think along with the Sephora order, there were the usual like samples on offer that I added because they were there available for free. And I don't have the products yet, but I do kind of wonder if I will regret that. Hopefully there'll be things that are easy to use up, but I already talked about this in the replacements video where some of my empties were products that I didn't even finish because they were free samples that actually were not things I was looking for. So I did get, I think, a face skincare product and a body lotion that were free offers. So we'll see if those become regrets as well. And again, it kind of brings up that nebulous category of free things coming in during a no-buy year, right? Not talking about PR or like influencer related things. I just mean like everyday person things, the free birthday offers, the free this or that comes with business events or whatever, you know, the swag bags or anything like that. Like, we're not spending our money on them, but they are taking up space in our home. They are demanding to be used if they're functional products. And, you know, there are thoughts to be had about all of that as well. I will also say that the birthday gifts on offer this year did include a product that I already use, and that is part of the reason that I did pull the trigger here. I did also take a peek at the Ulta birthday offers, and I passed on that one because not only did I not want to have another makeup order with different products that I don't actually need, I did not have any of the free birthday offers, free birthday offers, appeal to me enough to be worth either going there in person or making some order, or, even splitting up the Sephora order or whatever, finagling it in some way. So my intention is not just to go taking advantage of all the free things, all the birthday offers. Ideally, I would decouple myself from it entirely. There were years, literal years, that I didn't even know what Sephora was, didn't know they had a birthday gift. I think I've only gotten it twice up to this point, right? This might be my third time getting the Sephora free birthday gift and being involved in the beauty community in that way. And, I guess 2 of those times have been during times that I've been trying to be on a no-buy. So it's a slippery kind of space to be in, I guess, where I feel like I should be able to just eschew these things, not use them, not fall predator, not fall prey, not be a predator, not fall prey to these kind of offers. But it's just hard for some reason. It's just, maybe the scarcity mindset is rearing its head again and saying, oh, it's a free thing that you can use and stretch out the things you have, even though you actually don't need to. And, you're saving money by shopping it on sale or getting the free thing with it or whatever. Like, these things, as somebody who did grow up with kind of frugal parents as far as buying non-necessities, non-essentials, who was told no a lot for things that didn't really seem like a big deal, like small personal care products when I was a teenager. And some of the reasons given for not buying these things really didn't make sense to me at the time and were not explained well, objectively. I think they were not explained in a way that made it easy to appreciate the reasons for not buying stuff. It's something that I feel like is ingrained in me and makes it hard when these offers come along, especially during a time where celebrating yourself is also another common narrative. So I actually was planning to resist the birthday thrift books free book as well. Like, I was really planning on coming in strong with the thrift books and not ordering anything. And that $12 order I made was 3 books, actually, not 1, not 2, but 3 books. And part of that was because I think they have a $10 shipping minimum, and then the free book was up to $7, and then the other 2 books were, I guess an average of $6 each. And the other thing that happened that made me add some more books to my maybe I want to keep these list, or read these and then keep them list, was related to my musical favorites that I shared as my Christmas Day video. I shared that I listened to Hozier's debut album. And so since kind of talking about that and listening to more of his stuff, watching the videos on YouTube, I've been served more from him, more interviews, more kind of content involving him and his preferences, favorites, music, art, style, whatever. One of these videos was a book video. And so due to my kind of musical crush on this artist, I thought, oh, maybe this would be something interesting and maybe I want to read some of these. And of course, that thought was correct. And unfortunately coincided with the offer for the free birthday book. And some of these books also do feel like books that I am going to want to keep long term and or would take longer to read than a library loan. I would have to renew it multiple times. So again, I'm not sure I need to share what the books were, but the books are. But yeah, that's the $12.51 order that I made from Thrift Books. I am determined. Again, I'm deleting the app. I have deleted the app by the time this video is filmed and posted, and I will not be looking. I've unsubscribed from all email updates. I will not be tempted by any new releases, any more free book offers. I just don't need the books. Doesn't matter if it's free. I know this. You know this, Alexa. Don't do it. Don't give in to that urge to just buy something later. There is no justification for it. The you of today is telling the you of tomorrow. There is no justification. No good justification anyway. Anyone can justify anything until they're blue in the face. It doesn't mean it's legit. So anyway, there are wins, there are losses. And I guess, the no justification is legitimate thing does fall into that last purchase conundrum, right? I do remember in the years prior to 2024, before I was on the public no-buy, I would tell myself every time, this is the last time I'm going to make a clothing purchase. This is the last order from this company. This is the last thing I need before I can start a no-buy year, month, week even. And it just never really worked until I started publicly sharing, until I started along with the public reflections came journaling and speaking about it, right? So if you don't want to be public about it, you can maybe just do the journaling and speaking about it, even just to yourself or to a friend, or just, maybe the journaling will suffice actually. But until I started doing that work of reflection, the last purchase was an ongoing phenomenon. And I guess part of what journaling does is it takes part of that time that you would otherwise be looking at things that could be a last purchase or thinking about the last purchase, and moving that thought energy and that time to a reflective activity, right? Because any minute you spend journaling is a minute you're not spending browsing and thinking about the thing you want. Or if you are talking about the thing you want, you're journaling about it in an exterior way. You're not consuming yourself with desire for that thing. Right? So this is maybe where the video starts to get helpful, and I'll timestamp this at the beginning of the video, right? Skip to here if you want to just hear the tips. So the time you spend journaling is time you're not shopping, is maybe the big take home of this video. And when you feel yourself getting that itch to buy, it might be helpful to have a mandatory journaling routine where you have to go through your thoughts and your feelings and your reasons and why you're being consumed with this desire for this material good, this object, this thing that you might spend a part of your budget on or break your no-buy for. Is it worth it? Why is it worth it? Why is it not worth it? Can you wait? Can you live without it? And probably the answer is going to be yes, because you've been living without it thus far. And so we know, right? We know that we don't have any real justifications for the things we purchase a lot of the time. And even in this video of me admitting multiple things that I've purchased, right? 2 pieces of clothing, 3 beauty products, one of which was a replacement, but 2 new to me beauty products, and 3 books, right? So that's 8 things in the month of January. I would love this to be the last 8 things for the next 6 months at least. And, really stick to the rule of 5 for clothing, really stick to replacements only for consumable products until December's next kind of flexibility rule for gifting purposes. I have had some comments about how specific exceptions could be my downfall, and maybe I'm proving them right with this video. Maybe the fact that birthdays and Christmas are treated as special times made it easier to fall into buying things that I didn't necessarily... I have a hard time saying I didn't want to buy them, because I did buy them, and I do plan to use and enjoy all the things I bought. And that is maybe a point of important distinction between the no-buy years and the years prior. In the no-buy years, all the things that I've purchased have been used immediately, or maybe 90%. Some of the early no-buy things in 2024 have perhaps fallen into the mistake category of being used at a later date. But all of these things, at least in 2025, will be opened and used immediately. And that's something that I couldn't say, as bizarre as it is, that I couldn't say in years past. And, that's not normal. It's not normal to buy something when you have so much of it already that you won't be using it right away. Whether it's a makeup product or a clothing item or a book or anything, right? All of those things should have a definite need or use case at the time that you buy them. Otherwise, you should not be buying them. And I guess that's maybe an important point of awareness as well for any of you out there on a no-buy challenge of any length, right? If you don't have an immediate use for it, then it can wait. It should wait, actually. And it's better for the store to store that thing. There are any number of things that could happen between the time that you actually need it and the time, if you wait to purchase it now, maybe a new version will come out that you actually prefer. Maybe your life circumstances will change and you won't actually need the thing anymore. Your use case will have disappeared. Maybe your financial circumstances will have changed and you don't want to be spending that money between now and the time that you really need the thing that you're contemplating buying. And again, the concept of needing something is fairly subjective as well. You could say that you need to replace your makeup product, or you need to get this so that you have a backup for when it runs out, or you need to try this new shade of lipstick. But in reality, all of that is optional, unless you work at a job that mandates that you have this specific shade of lipstick for your job, which does happen. There are some positions that have a dress code that involves beauty products and certain items and articles of clothing, for sure. But unless you're in that position, then you don't need it. A lot of things in life are optional, and the job of a lot of marketing out there is to convince us that these things are not optional. And so here's an additional message of strength to not be manipulated by the marketing. And I guess that's another element that I'm fairly okay with as far as all of these fails of January. I at least don't feel like I was manipulated by marketing to buy any of the things that I chose to buy. I do feel like I had practical use cases for everything that I chose, and I was not influenced by sources exterior that I could pinpoint in my immediate kind of past. One of the beauty products I didn't buy actually was an influenced product, right? The ones that I kind of left on the future list in my mind, not a physical wish list. But there was a product that I saw a conscious creator recently talking about and wearing, and it looked amazing on them. And I thought, wow, maybe I should try that product. Maybe I should file that away for the future. It might still be filed away for the future, but I do recognize that that is an influenced desire and not something I've ever thought, oh, I want to try to use that product, or oh, I want this kind of feature out of this product, like the blush that I got that I can now apply with my hands instead of the brush and use in a more practical to me way. Or even the eyeshadow that's more of a friendly formula, especially for everyday use. You know, these are things that arose from my everyday kind of use desires. And, you know, while it's definitely not fitting in the criteria of a necessarily perfect no buy, it is fitting in the criteria of not purchasing anything influenced. So anyway, we're starting off the year weak with a buy month, but I will continue the year strong with a series of hopefully no buy months, at minimum a no buy February, and we'll see how long it can last. We'll see whether talking through these things with you here as my accountability partners prior to purchases, because there won't be any more birthday months until 2026. There won't be any more occasions until Christmas. And, you know, therefore one of my other kind of parameters is to talk through any non-legitimate needs, I guess. It'll come up as a case-by-case basis. And it is actually possible that some of these purchases, at least the Sephora ones, will be returned by the time that I actually get them and update you editing this video. So, you know, the secondhand things I can't return, which is another weakness of shopping Mercari and thrift books, and another reason I need to stop doing that. But there is some recourse for things that you buy new. Not that I recommend buying things and returning them. Like, the ideal is to not buy things. That's first and foremost. But there is some element of being able to fix some of the purchase mistakes if you do return the things that actually aren't going to serve you in your life and learn from it so that you don't buy them again. I don't foresee that happening, honestly, but who knows? Okay, tell me about your Januaries. Have they turned into buy months rather than no buy months? Why and how? And are you happy with it? Are you not happy with it? Do you have plans for your birthday month? Do you have plans to indulge in any of the free offers or not? I want to hear all your stories. I want to hear all your tales of accountability. Again, I'm sorry if I've disappointed you. I'm sorry if I'm not the no-buy leader you hoped I would be. And, you know, if this community has lost its value for you, I understand, and I'm sorry. But I will continue to fight the good fight within myself and make every month or every birthday month an improvement of the last one. So next year, stay tuned for No Buy 2026 and whether or not I manage to not fall for the birthday promotions next year. How's that for future promotions? All right, bye for now, and I will see you in the next one.